week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Well, Happy New Year, folks. We're coming to you from Cruities here in Bossier City, and first episode of 2016. And as y'all notice, I'm wearing now this is a Minnesota Vikings themed Comic Hero tee. I just left Fantastic on the Boardwalk to buy this hat. I mean, I looked everywhere, I couldn't find one. Then I found this one, and I asked, "Is this the only one y'all have?" I said, "Yeah." Okay, I'll buy it. And I said, "Okay, I'll buy it." The reason that I'm wearing this isn't because they won the NFC North title last night against Green Bay, although that's an awesome thing, especially since they're going to the playoffs. But a week ago today, my uncle Curtis Washington passed away, and everyone who knew him knew he was a diehard Minnesota Vikings fan. And if y'all can see close enough, these are his initials, CW, Curtis Washington. And I know that all my cousins that are three of them from Georgia, three of them live in Georgia, and one of them lives in Minden. I know y'all are watching this, and all I gotta say is, just gotta keep going in life. I know he's no longer with us, and that stinks and everything, but you just have to keep going. And Skol Vikings. All right, it's time to give away a free prize. All right, now I asked a question this week, or in last week's episode. True or false? Dick Grayson is the first Robin. The answer to that is true. He is one of 6 characters to take on the mantle of Robin. These characters are in no particular order: Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, and Carrie Kelly, with Damian Wayne being the current Robin. Now, there are 4 people who answered correctly, and I'm about to draw their name right now. And so, the winner of the Comic Hero prize pack for the week is Chadwick Griffith. So congratulations, Chad. You win a free Comic Hero prize pack. And just get back to me with the info, and I'll do the rest. All right, now the question for this week is this. What year? Now, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been long thought to have been a cartoon. However, it made its debut in comics. What year did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles make their debut? All right, and I will reveal the answer next week, and if you answer correctly, you will be entered in a free drawing for a Comic Hero prize pack. So there we go. All right, I gotta ask. Any questions?
DC character that they should have did the crossover with Daredevil, and he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because they have longer lasting ties to Daredevil." And he's like, "How that?" And I was like, "Well, considering in their debut issue they said that the same ooze that made Daredevil is the ooze that made the Turtles."
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you were, all of that was on camera. All right. So we have 2 questions for this week, and the first question is from Bill Scarborough from North Monroe, Louisiana. He asked, if you were a superhero of your own making, who would you be? Bill, come on. The Comic Hero. I mean, there is no other superhero that I want to be but myself. I mean, I'm not really a superhero. I'm just a guy that just wears t-shirts and kind of looks like a cross between a superhero and a wrestler in a poor wrestling circuit. But there have been several superheroes that I've created, though. I think I've created probably approximately about 8 superheroes since my sophomore year of high school. And there's this book that I've been working on, and I'm thinking about getting back to doing it. But I just have to find the inspiration for a new story arc. So yeah. All right, here's one more question. Oh, and by the way, if any of y'all have any questions y'all want to ask, contact info is right down there. Now, I have one more question. Let me find it. This was just posted to me this morning. It is from Melanie Meschel. She asked, "Are you more of an X-Men or a Fantastic Four fan? I'd love to hear your reasoning." Well, Melanie, you know what? I've always had a Love Jones for the Fantastic Four. Ever since I the first ever Fantastic Four book I ever read was written by Louise Simonson and penciled by her husband Walt Simonson. Now, it was a Nuke Busters story arc where Sharon Ventura was the thing, and I thought it was such a crazy good book. But then there's also X-Men. You know, X-Men is one of those staying power books. Now, I'm going to get back to Fantastic Four in a minute, and I think y'all know exactly what I'm going to say. But X-Men to me has been one of those great books. And then one thing about them is that they always grow through diversity and come out on top. Not to say that the Fantastic Four hasn't. I mean, they do too. I think the worst thing that's ever happened to the Fantastic Four was back in 1984 when Valeria had seemingly died. But by the way, Fantastic Four to me, like, I've displayed my disgust about Marvel doing away with that book for the reasons that they did. They did it away because they were not happy with what 20th Century Fox did with the Fantastic Four movie franchise. You know, I'm not happy about it too, but I think it's a bad idea to cancel the book. I mean, the only things we only hear from half the team. I mean, because Johnny Storm's now an Avenger and a member of the Inhumans, and then the Thing is now a member of Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Reed and Sue, we won't find out what happens to them until Secret Wars number 9 comes out, which will be somewhere around the corner. But if I had to pick one in terms of, oh no, yeah, the Fantastic Four for the most through the book's existence when it first came out in 1961, you know, they've always had the same members. Although there have been other members of the Fantastic Four other than any of the four original, or the four we've come to love. I mean, Crystal from the Inhumans has been a member. She-Hulk has been a member. Sharon Ventura was a member as She-Thing. The Black Panther and Storm, when they were a married couple, were members. In an Elseworlds tale, the Fantastic Four consisted of Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and the Hulk. And then Ant-Man, Scott Lang, he was a member. But then there's the X-Men, who have had members come and go, then come right back, then go again, and then members who have even died. You know, but to me, the Fantastic Four, they're kind of like the dysfunctional family. The dysfunctional family, they're dysfunctional, but at the end of the day, they say, hey, you all right? We're all right. And then there's the X-Men. They all live in one school. Some of them are students, some of them have graduated and became teachers and all that. Ugh. I probably have to say by an edge, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is X-Men. I mean, I love both Fantastic Four and X-Men. I wish the book was still going around. I wish Marvel wouldn't have canceled it. I would display my disgust, but I'm seeing there's a young girl right there, that Chris's daughter Harley, and I don't want to say I don't want to say anything distasteful like I did in episode 60 about Marvel canceling Fantastic Four. So I'm going to have to keep a filter. But Melanie, to answer your question, X-Men. All right, that's it for Colin Quinn Speaking. And again, if you wanted to submit a question, contact info is down there. Now, my good friend Brian Ferguson from Wake Forest, North Carolina, has requested a DC versus Marvel fight that at first I thought, wait, what? Why do you want this guy going up against this guy? But then I did my research and I figured, okay, works for me. On the DC side, we have Superman. On the Marvel side, we have Sunspot. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
DC versus Marvel. Hulk smash! Welcome to DC versus Marvel. Today is Superman versus Sunspot. Superman possesses superhuman strength, speed, senses, endurance, and longevity, flight, heat vision, freezing breath, extrasensory and visual powers, including X-ray vision. Sunspot possesses solar absorption and rechanneling, superhuman strength, flight, heat and light projection, and concussive blast. Who will win? Superman would dominate his fight at first, delivering punch after kick after punch after kick. He soon ends things by using his freezing breath on Sunspot, encasing him in a block of ice. Superman wins. But wait! Cold weather doesn't exactly have that much effect on Sunspot. He uses his solar powers to break free. Superman notices and charges after him. Little does the Man of Steel know that he keeps recklessly attacking light projections of Sunspot. This gives the latter the opportunity to jump Superman and absorb the solar energy in his cells. This renders him powerless, and Sunspot knocks him out cold. Sunspot then says to an unconscious Superman, "Who's the Man of Steel now, S.A.?" Sunspot wins. And that concludes this DC versus Marvel fight.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the DC versus Marvel segment, and if you have a request for a DC versus Marvel segment, contact info is right down there. Alright, now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there's only going to be one thing I'm going to talk about in the Comically Speaking segment, and I have just gotten word sometime last week that 20th Century Fox has been given a green light to come out with an X-Force movie. Now, from what I'm seeing with the concept, the movie concept art, there are 5 members. There's Cable, Domino, Warpath, and Cannonball, and then there's this other mysterious character I can't really make out. But I don't know if they write it, if it's written well and it's casted well and it's produced well. I think it's going to be a great movie. I just hope that they don't. If they cast Cable, they won't make him this hip young guy, because come on, everybody knows Cable's an old man. Now, I'm not saying Liam Neeson should play Cable, although hey, it could happen. And if they're going to cast Warpath, they need to cast an unknown. And here's why I say this: because Warpath, whose real name is James Proudstar, is the brother of the late the first Thunderbird, John Proudstar, who was an X-Men for about 3 seconds before he died. And so they need. Here's why: because the character Warpath is a Native American character. It would be wrong to cast somebody like I don't know, Jason Momoa or Roman Reigns to play the role of Warpath. There would be some Native Americans mad about it, and then I'd be mad about it. As for Domino, I don't know. When it comes to these characters, I really can't. I really can't tell you who I really can't give you my take on who should be casted. But if like I say, if it's written well, it's casted well, and it's produced well, I think it ought to be a great movie to see. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All All right, first up is Batman and Robin Eternal number 13. Now, I'm just a hair behind on it because the last issue I read was number 8. But what I can tell you is that there's this mysterious woman named Mother who has a bounty out on Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Harper Row, and the mysterious Cassandra Cain. And when they found out more about the character Mother, they traveled to Prague, to go after her. And then we also learned some stuff about Batman. When his early days, when Dick Grayson was Robin, we found out there were some things that he had been keeping from him. Currently Batman is Bruce Wayne is not Batman. He's pretty much living a normal life without fear and without anger and without being bitter. All right, next up is Justice League number 47. This is part 7 of the Darkseid War. Now, what's been going on in this book is that Darkseid has resurfaced, but then also somebody that comes around is this half apocalyptic, half Atlantean, half Amazonian woman who is the daughter of Darkseid, and she wants him dead. And along the way, there are several members like Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern, Lex Luthor, and Shazam. Even Batman. They've become gods. I mean, there's Bruce Wayne who's become the god of knowledge. There's Superman who's been the god of strength. There's the Flash who's the god of speed. Well, the god of death. And then there's the Shazam called the god of gods. And then Lex Luthor, he becomes the god of apocalypse. And it's up to Wonder Woman and Cyborg and Power Ring, the newest member of the Justice League, to stop all this. All right, next up is Superman Annual number 3. Now this picks up this kind of picks up where Superman Wonder Woman leaves off, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But we're about to where we saw the debut of the new 52 version of Vandal Savage. Now Vandal Savage is an ancient immortal character who really wants to go out to kill Superman and Wonder Woman, and the first fight begins right here. All right, next up, speaking of Superman, Wonder Woman, number 24. Now, in previous issues, Superman, ever since losing his powers, he's been a bit, I don't know, he's become more selfish than he's ever been. He refused to let Wonder Woman come on certain missions. He goes to the White House and tries to find out what happened to just about all of his loved ones. Like, for example, Perry White, Lois Lane, Lana Lang, Steele, aka Dr. John Henry Irons, and one of his neighbors from Smallville, and then his old high school teacher. They all get captured, and then we find out they had to team up with Parasite in order to find this other character that they were both going after. And then Superman does the unthinkable and tells Wonder Woman, "I'm done." And Wonder Woman's like, "Wait, what?" Oh, and by the way, Superman also loses a lot of blood in the last few issues, believe it or not. But that's only because he doesn't have much of his powers, and not only that, he's also dealing with Lois Lane ratting out his secret identity to everyone on the planet. And speaking of Superman and Wonder Woman, next up is Superman Wonder Woman Annual number 2. Now, I can't tell you. Oh, this is pretty much the aftermath issue of the breakup between Superman and Wonder Woman. So could this mean that we could see Superman and Lois Lane? I don't think so, not after what she did. But I like that relationship. It was going so well. Oh well. All right, next up is Wonder Woman number 47. Now, in this one, in this story arc the previous story arc that just ended, we saw everything from the debut of the New 52 version of Donna Troy, and then we see her apparent death. But then in number 46, we see her resurrection, and the person who resurrected her was Zeke, who happened to be Wonder Woman's brother. Yeah, Wonder Woman's infant brother. I tell you, Zeus gets around. I think when the Temptations wrote Papa Was a Rolling Stone, they were referring to Zeus. All right, and finally, Justice League of America number 6. Now, they've been going up. Now, they just got defeated by the god from Krypton named Rayo, after he had seemingly converted everyone on Earth to believe in Rayoism. Batman knew there was some there was a catch to that, and he was right. And now they're having to deal with the aftermath of their defeat by Rayo. All right, that's not a bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 7, my fault. That's 7 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,109. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I sure did. And if you're a family member, if you're any of my 4 cousins or their kids, you're watching this, Uncle Curtis would want us to go on. And I'm going to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, now during the postseason, I'm going to be pulling for the Minnesota Vikings. So Skol Vikings. And also, if y'all have any, like I said before, if y'all have any questions for the Any Questions segment, or DC versus Marvel requests, or even topic ideas for Comically Speaking. And also, we are 4 episodes away from the 100th episode. If y'all have any ideas for the 100th episode, contact info is right down there. I mean, I have a few things in mind. I tell you, 100 episodes. A lot of folks didn't think I was going to get this far, but I'm going to. I just know I am. Oh, and let me ask the question one more time. What year did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles make their debut? Now keep in mind, you may think that they were a cartoon character. No, they were in the comics first. What year did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles make their debut? Now, everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a free drawing for a Comic Hero prize pack. All right, I'm Victor Nutley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week. Till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for watching.